My people, something is always happening in this matter, and just a few days ago, a new development has shaken the entire case. So, grab your remote, make sure you are comfortable, and don't you dare touch that button because we are diving deep into this latest gist. And by the way, if you haven't done so, use this opportunity right now to like this video and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any part of this unfolding story. Now, for those of you who have been following this case, you know it's been a long and complicated legal journey. The headline we are focusing on today is "They Want to End Me." Nnamdi Kanu sends powerful letter from DSS Detention. So, what is this powerful letter all about? Let's break it down. This isn't just a regular letter.
It's a formal legal motion filed by Kanu himself directly from the detention of the Department of State Services, DSS. And in this motion, he has made some very serious and bold requests to the Federal High Court in Abuja. What did he ask for? He is asking the court to stop the upcoming judgment in his terrorism trial, which was scheduled for November 20, 2025. Yes, you heard that right. He is trying to halt the judgment just days before it is delivered. Why would he do that? What are his reasons? According to the details of his motion, Kanu is arguing that his entire trial has been built on a non-existent law. He contends that the government is prosecuting him under the old Terrorism Prevention Amendment Act of 2013, which has already been repealed and replaced by a new law in 2022. He says that proceeding under a repealed law makes the whole case invalid. He also claims that the initial not guilty plea he entered back in March was done under deception and that he was misled. Because of all this, he is not only asking the court to suspend the judgment, but also to throw out all the charges against him and order his immediate release. Now, this leads us to the very dramatic scene that played out in court recently. Imagine the setting. The Judge Justice James Omotosho had given Nnamdi Kanu 6 full days to open his defense. But what did Kanu do? He refused. He stood his ground and insisted that the court must first tell him under which law he is being charged. He has dismissed all his lawyers and is now representing himself. And he is sticking to this one argument. So, after he repeatedly failed to use the opportunity to defend himself, the judge had no other option but to set a date for judgment. The judgment was fixed for November 20th, 2025. The judge clearly stated that since Kanu refused to defend himself, he cannot later turn around and say he was denied a fair hearing. The report says that when the judge announced this, Kanu became provoked and started shouting in the courtroom, demanding to know the charges against him. You can see the tension. But wait, there's another angle to this story that we must talk about. While Kanu is in detention fighting his legal battle, what is happening on the outside? There have been peaceful protests in Abuja by people demanding his release under the hashtag Free Nnamdi Kanu Now. The global human rights organization, Amnesty International, has warned the Nigerian government against cracking down on these peaceful protesters. They have reminded the authorities that people have a fundamental right to peaceful assembly and that any intimidation or violence against lawful protesters is a breach of their human rights. There were even reports that security operatives fired tear gas and leaf bullets to disperse one of these protests. So you can see that the situation is very charged, both inside and outside the courtroom. Now let's connect this to the bigger picture in the Southeast region. My people, the reason this case gets so much attention is because it is not just about one man. Amnesty International recently released a report that says the situation in the Southeast has become a free-for-all reign of impunity. Since 2021, at least 144 people have been killed in that region, and hundreds have been forcibly disappeared. The violence involves many actors, from unknown gunmen who attack communities to the state-backed Ebube Agu paramilitary group and even criminal gangs. The government often blames many of the attacks on IPOB and its armed wing, the Eastern Security Network, ESN, but Amnesty's research shows that in many cases, a wide range of criminal groups are behind the attacks, not necessarily IPOB. At the same time, the enforcement of sit-at-home orders by IPOB has also led to human rights violations, with people being beaten or even killed for defying the order. It's a very complex and painful situation for ordinary people living in that region. So my people, as we sit here today, the countdown to November 20th is on. Will the judge agree with Kanu's powerful letter and halt the judgment? Or will the court proceed to deliver its verdict? This is a critical moment. This case is more than a legal battle. It's a story that touches on deep issues of law, human rights, and the security of a whole region. If you are enjoying this breakdown and you want to stay informed on what happens next, you know what to do. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you are the first to know when we bring you the update. This gist is definitely going to continue, so stay tuned. So the big question on everyone's mind is, what happens next? The date is set, the motion has been filed, and tensions are high. Let's break down the possible scenarios that could play out come November 20th. First scenario, the judge, Justice Omotosho, could decide to honor Kanu's motion. He could look at the legal arguments about the repealed Terrorism Act and agree that the trial needs to be paused. This would mean the judgment is suspended and the case would go back to square one to be refiled under the correct current law. This would be a massive victory for Kanu's legal strategy and would likely lead to even more delays in a case that has already dragged on for years. Second scenario, the judge could reject the motion and proceed with the judgment. Remember, the court has already given Kanu multiple chances to defend himself, and he has refused. The judge might rule that Kanu has forfeited his right to raise these objections at this late stage by not using his defense window. If this happens, we could get a verdict on that day. The judgment could go either way, a conviction or an acquittal. But given that Kanu refused to present a defense, the odds might not be in his favor. But my people, there is a third, deeper layer to this entire drama. Why is this case so important to the government? And why has Kanu chosen this specific legal battle? This goes beyond the courtroom. This is about the principle of the rule of law. Kanu's argument is that if the government is using a law that no longer exists to prosecute him, then the entire process is flawed from the foundation. It's a bold move that challenges the very legitimacy of the charges against him. Now, let's talk about the human cost. While we discuss legal technicalities, let's not forget that there is a man in DSS detention. His health has been a constant concern for his family and supporters. They claim his condition is deteriorating. The state of his health has been another point of contention, with his legal team previously requesting for him to be transferred to a prison with better facilities, a request that was denied. This adds a very human, emotional element to this high-stakes legal drama. And what about the people in the southeast? For the average person in Abia, Imo, or Anambra, this court case is not just news, it directly impacts their daily lives. The sit-at-home orders that are often enforced whenever there is a major development in Kanu's case disrupt businesses, close schools, and create an atmosphere of fear. So, the outcome on November 20th will have a ripple effect far beyond the courtroom in Abuja. It will be felt in the markets, on the streets, and in the homes of millions of people. This is why it is so crucial to stay informed. The decisions made by one judge in one courtroom can shape the peace and stability of an entire region. This is not just about one man, it is about justice, national unity, and the future of Nigeria. My people, the story is far from over. The next move is in the hands of the court. We will be here, watching closely and ready to break it all down for you. If you are finding this analysis helpful, please do us a big favor. Like this video right now. Your likes help this channel grow and reach more people. And if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so you don't miss our next update. We will be back with the verdict and all the reactions as soon as it happens. Thank you for watching. Stay safe and stay informed.